ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ
ಅದು ಮೈಕ್ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ
ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಅಭಿಲಾಷ ಅದೆಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಚರಿತ್ರೆನೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದರಿಂದ ಬಹಳ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ಸಭೆಗೆ ಪಾಪ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಅಪರೂಪದ ಒಂದು ಸಂಗತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮೊದಲು ಅಭಿಲಾಷೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದ್ರ ವಿನ್ಯಾಸ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಇತ್ತು. ಮೊದಲು ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಶಿವಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರು ಕಂಠಸ್ಥ ವಾಚನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ವಿಮರ್ಶೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅವಲೋಕನ ಮಾಡೋದು ನನ್ನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಅದು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿವಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರ ಹಠಮಾರಿತನದಿಂದ ಅವರು ಗುರುಗಳಾದ ನೀವೇ ಮೊದಲು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಹಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಸೋತ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ವಿ. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಚಂದ್ರಕಿರಣ್, ರಮೇಶ್ ಜಯರಾಮಯ್ಯ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೋತ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮೊದಲೇ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರುವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಎದುರು ಕೂತಿರೋರು ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮಹಾದೇವ್. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ದೇವನೂರು ಮಹಾದೇವ್ ಅವರ ಸಮಗ್ರ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕುರಿತು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ವಿಮರ್ಶಾ ಗ್ರಂಥವನ್ನ ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ CP ಸಿದ್ದಾಶ್ರಮ ಅವರು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹತ್ತಿರವಾದಂತ ಹೃದಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶಿ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಮನವೊಲಿಸುವಂತೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ತಳಸ್ಪರ್ಶಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಮಗ್ರ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನ ಮಹಾದೇವರನ್ನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ CP ಸಿದ್ದಾಶ್ರಮ ಅವರು ಸಮಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದದ್ದು. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮಹಾದೇವ್ ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂತೆ ಈಗಷ್ಟೇ ಎಡ್ವಿನ್ ಆರ್ನಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅವರ ಲೈಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಏಷ್ಯಾ ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏಷ್ಯಾದ ಬೆಳಕು ಅಂತ ಅನುವಾದ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಭಾಷಾಂತರ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಈಗ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದೋ ಏನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಂಟೆ ಡಿವೈನ್ ಕಾಮಿಡಿಯನ್ನು ಕೈಗೆತ್ತಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ನಾವು ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಪಡಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂಗತಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರ ನಡುವೆ ಈ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಪಿಸೋದು ನನಗೆ ಒಂಥರ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಚಂದ್ರಕಿರಣ್ ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಅನುಗಾಲದ ಮಿತ್ರರು. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡದು. ಅವರ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಬದುಕೋದು, ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಅವರಂತ ಒಡನಾಡಿಗಳ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಬದುಕೋದು ನನ್ನ ಬದುಕಿನ ವ್ರತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಪಾಲಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ. ಸೊ ಟು ಬಿಗಿನ್ ವಿತ್, I will just share my ideas with the book, this great work called Krishna Bale, which appeared in 1988, some 37 years back, almost 4 ದಶಕಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಸೌಧೋಗಿದೆ. ಆ 4 ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ ಕುಸುಮ ಬಾಲೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನ ವೈಯಾರದಿಂದ, ಬೆಳಗು ಬಿನ್ನಾಣಗಳಿಂದ ಕೆಣಕ್ತಾ ಕಾಡ್ತಾ, ಯಾವ ವಿಮರ್ಶೆ ಮಾನದಂಡಗೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕದೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒದ್ದಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಕುಸುಮ ಬಾಲೆ ನಾಟವಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಅದು ದೇವನೂರು ಮಹಾದೇವರ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಯಾರ ಕೈಗೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಯಾರ ಜಪ್ತಿಗೂ ಸಿಗದ ನವಿಲುಗಳು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾರ ಜಪ್ತಿಗೂ ಸಿಗದ ನವಿಲುಗಳು ಅಂತ ಅದೇ ಶೀರ್ಷಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 400 ಪುಟದ ವಿಮರ್ಶೆ ಬಂತು ಅವರ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಯಾರ ಜಪ್ತಿಗೂ ಸಿಗದ ನವಿಲುಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಿಮರ್ಶಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಹಾದೇವ ಅವರ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕುರಿತು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಬೈಲಿಂಗ್ವಲ್ because this is English department. As Shabana said right at the beginning, it is a really wonderful experience that the students of the English department are showing keen interest to learn ದಿ ಲಿಟರರಿ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಮೇಶ್ ಜಯರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮನವಳ್ಳಿಯವರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟರ್, ಬಹಳ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಅನುವಾದಗಳನ್ನ, ಕಂಬಾರರ ನಾಟಕಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಡುವೆ ಸೇತುವೆಯಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡದ ವಾತಾವರಣ, ಸಂಚಲನ, ಕೊಡುಕೊಡೆಗಳು ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ. ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ, ಈ ಬಲ್ಗೈ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಆರ್ಕೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾದಲ್ಲಿ
ಬೋಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ
ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಆರ್ಕೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಡೋರು ಇಟ್ಕೋತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಇರಲಿ, ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಎರಡು ಒಟ್ಟೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಟ್ ಅವರ್ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ರೈಟರ್ ಬಾನು ಮುಷ್ತಾಕ್, whose short story collection The Heart Lamb has been shortlisted International Booker Prize for 2025 London. Yesterday shortlist, long list ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ನಿನ್ನೆ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಒಂದು marks the first time a Kannada title has ಏನಿದು ಅದನ್ನ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ಹಂಗೆ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡು ಸರ್. ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ. It marks the first time a Kannada title has made it this far in the race for the coveted GBP $50,000 literary prize, 50,000 pounds, I think, right? Divided between the author and translator. Ms. Mushtaq's work has been shortlisted among 6 worldwide titles. Mushtaq has said this about her stories. ದೇವನೂರು ಮಹಾದೇವ್ ಅವರ ಕುಸುಮವಾಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಮಹಾದೇವ್ ಅವರ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ವಲಯದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಬಾನು ಮುಷ್ತಾಕ್ ಅವರ ಕೃತಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗತಿಕವಾದ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಆರಂಭದಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮುಷ್ತಾಕ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಿಮೆನ್, ಹೌ ರಿಲಿಜನ್, ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನಿಂಗ್ ಒಬಿಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೆಮ್, and in doing so inflict inhumane cruelty upon the women, turning them into mere subordinates. She continues, the daily incidents reported in the media and the personal experiences I have endured have been my inspiration. The pain, suffering and helpless lives of these women create a deep emotional response within me. I do not engage in extensive research. My heart itself is my field of study. ಬಹಳ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದಂಥ ಮಾತು. ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಓದಿ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಥೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾನು ಬರೆದಿಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯದ ವೇದನೆ ಏನಿವೆ ಅದನ್ನ ವೀಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾಡೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಥರ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜೀವನಾನುಭವ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಂದ್ರವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ದಟ್ಟವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೀವೇ ಊಹೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್, I am deeply indebted to my friends, Professor Ramesh Jayaramayya and Professor Chandrakiran, for giving me this opportunity of participating in this wonderful program. I recognize in the audience Professor Krishna Manavalli, Professor Mahadev, Professor C.P. Siddhashram. Dear students, I am sure you are going to lend your ears even as Professor Shivaswamy transports us to the world of Kusumabale, created by the renowned Kannada writer Devanur Mahadeva. Professor Shivaswamy has internalized, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಕಂಠಸ್ಥ ವಾಚನ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಂಠಸ್ಥ ವಾಚನ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರು ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಸುಮ ಬಾಲೆಯನ್ನು ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಳೆದ 2 ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ 2-3 ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. He has internalized the Dalit cosmos created by Devanur Mahadev. As he is enchanted by Kusuma Bale, Shivaswami has been chanting the text since more than 2 decades, I must say. Shivaswami bringing the text alive while teaching in the classroom, and this has a far-reaching effect on the minds of the young audiences. Today also, he has given you a sample. He is going to give you a sample of his talent in translating the text into a drama virtually. He has also interspersed. He will, on future tense ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು past tense ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. He will also intersperse. ಈಗಲೇ ಬೇಡಪ್ಪ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಈ ಪುಣ್ಯಾತ್ಮ, ಈಗ ನೀ ಟೀ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಂದು ಹೋಯ್ತು, ನಾನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಫ್ಲಾಸ್ಕ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಏನೋ ಸಂತರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ ಉದ್ದೇಶನೇ ಅದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. The whole purpose will be defeated if you start drinking tea and eating biscuits. Please, for my sake, kindly bear with me. Let it stay. Let it wait. Okay? Yeah, please. ದಾಸೋಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಸೇವೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದೇನಂದ್ರೆ Shivaswami bringing the text alive while teaching in the classroom is well known, and today also he is going to give you a sample of his talent in translating the text into a drama, and he will also intersperse his chanting with his own interpretation, and that will help to come to terms with the Dalit words. Okay? The story of the translation of Kusuma Bale itself is quite interesting. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ತಾವು ಭಾವಿಸಬೇಡಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾನು ಮುಷ್ತಾಕ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ತಿ ಅವರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಅದೃಷ್ಟ ಅದು. ಎಂತ ಬಸ್ತಿ ಅವರು? ದೀಪಾ ಬಸ್ತಿ. ಅವರ ಅದೃಷ್ಟ, ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಒಬ್ರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟರ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು. ಅದು ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವೈಡ್ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಿ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕುಸುಮ ಬಾಲೆ is very, very checkered. So many translators have attempted and failed, and then that's a very interesting phenomenon. As earlier recalled by Professor Chandrakiran, Professor Ramurthy, one of my teachers in the Department of English, a beloved teacher, a great teacher, and he ventured to translate Kusuma Bale into English. Probably he was the first person to make such an attempt, Professor Polanki Ramurthy. Subsequently, Rovina Hill, who came to do her MA in English, Professor Madhav knows her better, joined him, and later Judith Kroll, another translator, also joined and lent a helping hand. Both Professor Rovina Hill and Judith Kroll were poets. Rovina Hill was from Venezuela. ಇಲ್ಲಿ MA ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಾಗಲೇ ಅವರು ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು MA ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮುಗಿದಿತ್ತು. ಮೈಸೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ MA ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಕುತೂಹಲ. Yes, she was particular about Commonwealth literatures, and also the presence of individual extraordinary teachers like Professor Polanki Ramurthy and Professor U.R. Anantamurthy. That must have triggered her interest. Anyway, after her MA, after being an established poet in England and Venezuela, she came to the University of Mysore, especially to do her MA in English. That's a very interesting piece of information for all of you. Both Judith Kroll and Rovina Hill were poets. Rovina Hill was from Venezuela and Judith Kroll was from Australia. Somehow the project was abandoned. A.K. Ramanujan, our ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ, expressed his desire to translate, having Dr. Manu Shetty as a co-translator. Manu Shetty ಅವರು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಇದೇ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೂ ಬಹಳ ಅನ್ಯೋನ್ಯವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇತ್ತು. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅವರು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಎರಡೂ ಒಂದು ಅವಿನಾಭಾವ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. and Kolangi Ramurthy wanted to take Manu Shetty's help. Manu Shetty, A.K. Ramanujan, sorry. He was professor of philosophy and a great friend of Devanur Mahadeva as well. And unfortunately, he went back to the USA. Manu Shetty is in the United States of America now. A.K. Ramanujan was keen to translate Kusuma Bale because it offered not just Dalit experience, but Dalit sensibility. This is the expression A.K. Ramanujan himself has used in his writing. I wanted to translate Kusuma Bale into English not because of merely Dalit experience, but also because of Dalit sensibility reflected in the novel. Finally, it was Susan Daniel, our colleague, Siddhashramaku colleague agidro ಏನಷ್ಟದ ಅವರು ಯುವರಾಜಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Susan Daniel worked in Bachcherlila. Right. Susan Daniel was in Uverajas College for a number of years. An extraordinary teacher, one of the brilliant students to have emerged from the English department of Mysore University. Susan Daniel finally took up the work and she rendered it into English successfully. I remember that evening years ago when I was part of the releasing function of Kusuma Bale English translation. Dr. Nataraj Villayar came from Bangalore University and Susan came all the way from Ooty, where she lives now, even now also. She shifted her residence from Mysore to Ooty. She is living in Ooty now. And that was a wonderful function. Course a little program. I have forgotten what I spoke on the occasion, but I feel happy that I was a part of that memorable program. As usual, Devanur Mahadeva, the author, sat unobtrusively in one of the far corners in Rangayana where the book was launched. He was very, very unobtrusive. Even now he is unobtrusive. Nobody can recognize where he sits, and simply he slips away from the audience. You will not be knowing it. Even the organizers will be at a loss. Regarding her venture to translate Kusuma Bale into English, Susan Daniel says, I quote, to enter the seamless flow of the chant-like rhythms where language and emotion take the lead in turns, I had to bring it a keener ear, a different kind of auscultation. It's a new word, unfamiliar word, auscultation. A-U-S-C-U-L-T-A-T-I-O-N. I had to bring a different kind of auscultation, perhaps. When Kusuma Bale was published in 1988, it puzzled the readers and critics as well, whether it was to be read as a folk epic, a poem, or a novel. The difficulty in translating Kusuma Bale into English was because there was no pan-Indian dialect of Indian English to speak of, nor a local Kannada variant to lean on. Hence, Susan decided to stay with tone and travel with the cadences, relying on pace as pointer. Susan requested Devanur Mahadeva to help her with a reading session. She has acknowledged in her introduction that H. Janardhan, Jenny as we call him, and great Shivaswami is here. Susan Daniel requested Devanur Mahadeva, and Devanur Mahadeva in turn requested Janardhan and Shivaswami to help her in this context. Susan has expressed her amazement at Shivaswami's talent in committing the whole Kusuma Bale to memory. She has talked about how the novel has been strengthened by folk aesthetic traditions, thereby allowing the readers into the thinking and feeling of an autonomous world. The translator Kusuma Bale was vetted, as Professor Mahadeva reminds me. I read it somewhere but I had forgotten. Thank you, Mahadeva. The book, the entire translation finally was vetted by Helen Dwyer, an Irish poet and a good friend of Professor Mahadeva here, Professor English Department. Now Susan Daniel has translated Vadalala, which is proved and vetted by Elizabeth Russell, a born English speaker, a good review of the English, a good friend of the English Department. It's a wonderful thing to know that Susan Daniel has also translated. It is yet to be published. Vadalala, another great work. Vadalala came first and then Kusumabali, as you all know. So we certainly look forward to Susan
And the
Daniel's
short stories.
translation.
And the
Short stories which appeared in Davanuru 1973, exactly 51 years ago. So Mahadev became overnight, he has been a famous writer for the last 50 years, half a century, as recollected by Professor Chandrakiran. He produced only 180 odd pages. 186 pages. That is the entire corpus of Denur Mahadeva's writing. But look at him, even today, people all over the country, go to any corner of India, whether Gujarat or Kashmir or Tamil Nadu or Kerala, anywhere you go, Mahadev's name is very, very familiar because of the kind of literature he has produced, and that's a wonderful thing. So the translator had expressed her gratitude that once in a while, one comes across a writer like Devanur Mahadeva who helps us access aspects of the whole self, returning to consciousness, subconscious contents, dream time visions, aspects of our lives that have been marginalized in society's march ahead, sometimes neglected, at other times sacrificed, blotted out, or simply ignored. That kind of life Mahadeva has brought into life. Therefore, Susan is extremely grateful to him for encountering such a work. Vivek Shambha has written a very elegant introduction, and some of the issues he has raised here are quite relevant. He has drawn our attention, for example, to the world of spirits described by Devanur Mahadeva, where they are guided by a strong sense of justice. The guardian lamp spirits congregating at midnight to have a conversation is fascinating. This technique captivates the reader's imagination and creates curiosity, and the reader begins to comprehend that the novel is looking at the world with an unusual perspective. Tracing the evolution of the novel in Kannada during the last 120 years, Shambha infers that some have historical and mythological subjects, while others are located in the urban space. Even the corporate world has been depicted. So during the Navya or modernist period, the Kannada novel gained symbolic and metaphorical strength. According to Shambha, the strength of Kusumabale lies in the blending of traditional structure to capture modern experiences. Here, the Kannada novel has abandoned the internal structure of the Western novel and treads a new path. Devanur Mahadeva is among the most important writers who gave shape to the Dalit movement and were responsible for the birth of Dalit literature. Yet, we cannot limit him as a Dalit literature alone. He is exceptional in terms of writing style, design, structure and language. ಇಷ್ಟು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು. ಕುಸುಮಬಾಲೆ ಅಂತ ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಓದುವಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಭಾಷೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟು ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು. ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೂ ಅವರು ಹೊಸದನ್ನು ತರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಅನ್ವೇಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Dalit writing is predominantly strident and slogan prone, as you all know. Mahadeva, however, steered clear of these traps right from the beginning. When Kusumabale was published in 1988, it was at once clear that Mahadeva was walking a different path with his work. It had crossed the defined boundaries of the Kannada novel and had escaped the formulas of Kannada criticism as well. Mahadeva was clearly urging his readers to see that struggle was not a binary pitted against two opposing forces. The Dalit world he had created was intrinsically connected with other units of society. If you try to understand the murder of Chenna, all the characters and people of all castes seem to have had a hand in his death. If you try to follow the narrative through Yada, Somappa and Kusuma, it finally leads to Channa's murder. In Garasiddha's episode, he states the unwritten social norm that stealing tender coconut is no crime if one is truly thirsty. ಈಗ ಬೇಸಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಆದಿಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಎಳ್ನೀರು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ. ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಎಳ್ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇಸಿಗೆ ಕಡೆ ಕುಡಿತೀವಿ. ಗಾರಸಿದ್ಧ ಅವನ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಅದು, ಅವನ ತರ್ಕ. 16 ಎಳ್ನೀರು ಇಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ಕುಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನಿನ್ ಮನೆ ಕಾಯುವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ ತಗೋ, ಅದು ಶಿವಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಬಾಯಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳೋಣ, ಒಂದ್ ಕುಡಿಯಯ್ಯ, ಆಯ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಕುಡಿಯಯ್ಯ, ಆಯ್ತು ಮತ್ತೊಂದ್ ಕುಡಿಯಯ್ಯ. ಏನಯ್ಯ 16 ಕುಡಿಯೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ನಮಗೆ ಎಳ್ನೀರು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದೇವನೂರು ಮಹಾದೇವ brought that logic, beautiful Dalit logic of the poor people, the downcast, the marginalized, very beautifully in this novel. So Garasiddha's episode, he states this episode he states the unwritten social norm that stealing tender coconut is no crime if one is truly thirsty. Here, morality is not of a single strand, but a complex web of tangles. Even in the face of oppression, the poor and hungry use subversive ways to survive, and the powerful rope them into a labyrinth of rules and justice. We know from the storyline that Channa has been killed, hence the tragedy of Channa's death casts its shadow on all the episodes of the novel. ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಚನ್ನನ ಕೊಲೆಯ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಿವಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಕಥೆ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಆ ಚನ್ನನ ಕೊಲೆಯ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನೇ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯಿಂದ ಆ ಚನ್ನನ ಕೊಲೆ ಜಾರಿ ಹೋಗ್ದಾಗೆ ರೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವನ ನೆನಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ತರ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ನ ದೇವನೂರು ಮಹಾದೇವ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಟು ಎಂಡ್ his death haunts the reader's mind. This death does not even take place inside the novel. Without a hint of Channa's death, conversation among the characters, their innocent actions, the fruitlessness of their anticipation, all this hits the reader with great intensity. Even in scenes laced with humor, we laugh helplessly, fully aware of Channa's death. Mahadeva himself has written what prompted him to write Kusumabal. ಬೇಗ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಶಿವಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸಮಯ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಮಹಾದೇವ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕುಸುಮಬಾಲೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿತು, ಅದು ಉದ್ಭವವಾದದ್ದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ರಸಂಗವನ್ನ ತಾವೇ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ದೇವನೂರು ಮಹಾದೇವ. ಐ ಕೋಟ್, ವೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮೈಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಟೇಲ್ಸ್? 2 stories come to my mind. One is pertaining to a Jaina king called Adinatha before Christ, and finds a white hair on his head. Immediately he thinks of the impermanence of life and renounces everything and goes to forest to observe penance. Another one pertains to a man resembling me. Devanur Mahadeva says, resembling me. What happens? One day, when he was drinking water from the river, he finds a long hair in his palm. Immediately he visualized a beautiful damsel in front of him. When the hair itself is so beautiful, how much beautiful the possessor of it must be, he thought. He set out to find her and make his own. In creation oscillating between desire and impermanence, is creation oscillating between desire and impermanence. What did prompt me to write Kusumabal? Probably the following 3. This is what Mahadeva says about Kusumabal's origin. Probably the following 3 reasons are responsible for the birth of Kusumabal. The first one is, when I was a boy, I had heard about a ritual aimed at saving people who were dying of emaciation. They believed that the body is possessed by an evil spirit. In order to exorcise that spirit, they prepare all kinds of rituals and place it before the person and hide themselves. When the possessed man is confronted with an unexpected banquet, the evil spirit leaves him at once, being satisfied. This story haunted me constantly. This made me understand poverty, It appeared to be psychiatric treatment in a way our people had discovered through their awareness. I had not seen these rituals, but I firmly believe that the pages describing such a ritual in Kusumabale have been part of my finest writing. Another one is also a folk story pertaining to lamp spirits. This story says that in the village, after the lamps are put off in the homes, the souls of the lamps are believed to gather in a mandap under a tree and share what all is happening in their homes, respective homes. In the folk tale, this is used as a comic element, but I found it as a soul that prompts to tell the truth. Some years back, a friend of mine who was in the Dalit organization was killed. When we went to the place where he had been killed, the walls were whitewashed. The old woman there said, I quote, "If you had come here a couple of days earlier, you could have seen the blood stains," unquote. That moment, I told myself, if the walls are whitewashed, if the blood stains vanish completely, it started growing inside me. One day, all these threads mingled and Kusumabale started taking its birth. Many critics have responded to Mahadeva's writing, especially Kusumabale. Professor C.P. Siddhashram, as I said earlier, who has written an entire book on Devanur Mahadeva's works, has said about Kusumabale, our society has never accepted the intercaste marriage. It is equally difficult to establish a really secular ecosystem, and therefore our society is stagnant. In this backdrop, Devanur Mahadeva has striven his best to establish a society imbued with love and affection. That is Professor Siddhashram. I will just quote one more, Professor G.S. Amur, before I hand over to Shivswamy. G.S. Amur, one of our very perceptive critics, has said insightful things about Kusumabale. For example, he says, the difference between Vadalala and Kusumabale is that in Vadalala, Mahadeva's attention was focused on a few moments of the present. But Kusumabale, in addition to involving the past, present and future, it also includes that what Ole Soyinka calls the fourth dimension. If all the happenings in the untouchable colony in this novel pertains to the present, the episode of Akkama Devi and Yada includes the past events. The children here, for example, Kusuma's baby, her younger brother Parsada, the fetus that is growing in Kempi's womb, all these are symbols of the future. There is yet another dimension in Kusumabale which includes all these three aspects of time: the conversations of lamp spirits and the spirit of the court, their criticism, the magic related to birth and death. They all belong to the fourth dimension. Mahadeva's cultural understanding does not remain at the level of logical transaction, but it works at the level of community's belief, and therefore he makes the world of the spirits relevant to his scheme of things. Amor further says, Kusumabale's artistic dimension is equally unique. It's an approach that has the community consciousness while giving a shape to the complex experience. The central pulse of the novel is humaneness, the unalloyed happiness of innocent children like Parsada, the saddened existence of individuals like Kusuma and Iri, though incapable of fighting against the establishment. The adventure to survive undertaken by Yada, Garasid Mama and Amasa. Dynamism in the heart of inactivity. Mahadeva's sensibility understands all this with love, because it has a freedom that is not constricted by rigid framework and a liveliness that responds to life. We can locate some of the narrative methods we find in Vadalala and also in Kusumabale. But Kusumabale is more ambitious than Vadalala. The narrative technique in Kusumabale comes as an indispensable approach. Likewise, the creation of different time dimensions are equally important, says Amur. In the earlier works of Mahadeva are tethered to the familiar framework. In Kusumabale, the community life has provided the central core. Earlier, Mahadeva's vision confined itself to the Dalit world, and it is a good sign that it has grown to encompass the entire society. Clearly, this is the next step the Dalit literature is taking. So, coming to the end, the writers after Mahadeva are really exploring the new possibilities, winning new luminosity to Dalit literature. But nobody can dislodge Derur Mahadeva's position as a pioneering Dalit writer who remains a true lighthouse to the new generation of writers who refuse to be branded as mere Dalit writers. So, I take this opportunity to thank the Academy, my friend, Professor Chedukkiran, Professor Jaramaya, and all the Yogesh, Shabana. I look forward to Shiv Sama's rendering. Thank you.